Hey. Oh, oh. It's a real honor to be asked to say a few words about Lawrence and Stephanie, Loz and Steph today. I've been friends with Loz for almost 25 years now. We met in our first year at secondary school, Manchester Grammar, and got on right from the start. In some ways, Loz has changed a lot since those early years, but in others he hasn't. His main passions, other than Steph of course, were and are food and football. I'll start with football, and with the basics. Loz is a United fan. Boo. I'm a City fan. Hooray. You wouldn't have thought that when we met in 1998, with United due to win the treble at the end of the season, and City gaining promotion from Division 2, that 25 years or so on, I'd be the happier of the two of us with the current position of each club. Not that it's affected Loz's love for United too much. Living in Bermuda has proven a bit of a logistical challenge due to time differences, and so he tends to use the work-from-home approach on days when United are playing midweek to fit his schedule in around the football. It was noticeable, however, that this season he ended up working in the office far more than usual. We played a lot of football at school, at break time and during lunch. Whilst Loz was quite a skillful player, he has previously claimed to have a better right foot than Ryan Giggs. He didn't have, let's say, the same physique that he does these days. In fact, come to think of it, other than playing football at school, Loz structured his free time around eating. And the type of food he ate back then was perhaps a bit less healthy than his current diet. For instance, at break time, which was usually around 10:30 a.m., so not all that long after breakfast really, Loz would often eat at least 2 or 3 slices of toast, dripping in butter in the school canteen. Part of the reason why he ate so many was that he paid below market price per slice, which was only 10 pence. There was a particular dinner lady, Pam, as I recall, who for no apparent reason was too nice to refuse pupils who paid her with buttons and paper clips for this toast. And whilst there are only few boys in the whole school who had the audacity to do this on a daily basis, Loz was indeed one of those people. During lunch, he would often spend his time playing cards in the butty bar, where the staple meal was either a burger or 2 burgers. And outside the butty bar, there was an ice cream van every lunchtime, extremely convenient for a growing lad. These days, however, you wouldn't think it was the same person. In the lead up to the wedding, he and Steph went 3 months without any sugar intake. It was telling that he was concerned more about the fried Mars bar than the drinking on the stag party in Edinburgh. His shopping list now consists of lentils, barley, cottage cheese, black beans, and eggs. Everything that he and Steph eat is cooked in either the pressure cooker or instant pot, which, according to Loz, cooks rice, pasta, and meat to perfection. And of course, to run as many marathons as Loz has, finishing the London Marathon twice in 3 hours and 1 minute, which is an unbelievable achievement, as well as being the poster boy for the Royal Parks Half Marathon, there have needed to be tweaks to the diet and a lot of time, as we've heard, spent exercising. Loz loves exercising. This is something that he and Steph definitely have in common. They both actually enjoy getting up early to do yoga or head to the gym. Their recent trips to America have been packed with beautifully scenic walks, often for upwards of 20 miles a day. Living together in Loughton, they spent time pioneering walks through Epping Forest, and I think have more or less explored every part of Bermuda, either on foot or by bike. Another thing about Loz that hasn't changed is his love of holidays. On balance, I would suggest that whilst Loz loves a holiday, it isn't always the culture of a place that he's interested in. His ideal holiday tends to involve sun, sand, and bat and ball. Any excuse to be topless, really. Holidays now are more active, with a honeymoon trekking trip through Patagonia on the agenda for later in the year. On the stag party in Scotland, we even managed to get to 40,000 steps on the Saturday alone. We didn't quite walk 500 miles, but all of us except Loz were fairly wiped out the next day. A holiday that involves visits to art galleries and museums, for instance, just isn't his thing. I recall when Loz and I were interrailing in Europe with Rick Torb, that Torb somehow managed to convince Loz that in one of Michelangelo's paintings in a Florence art museum, Jesus was genuinely wearing a Manchester United shirt. As a City fan, I can tell you that Jesus plays for City, so you were way off. Loz, you're an extremely decent, honest, friendly guy. You love your family dearly. You've been a great friend for a long time, and even living so far away, we catch up all the time. You're very intelligent and capable, particularly with numbers. And you made a great career as an actuary. You should be really proud of what you've achieved. Since you've met Steph, I can see how the two of you complete each other, and it's been lovely to see your relationship develop. Steph, I was pretty certain you were right for Loz when after only a few months of dating, you'd memorized the names of the entire United squad, including the third choice goalkeeper. Although it's not that surprising to have another United fan from Essex, I guess. You have so much in common and make Loz extremely happy. I still remember that at your engagement party, you came up to me and said, "I'm so happy, I can't stop smiling." In Bermuda, you forged a great life for you and Loz, making new friends through involvement in netball and scuba diving, and showed real determination to overcome your ruptured Achilles, always showing such positivity, and were rewarded for this with a great job there, which just underlined it. The two of you make a great couple, and all of us are extremely happy you found each other, and we look forward to spending many more years ahead with you both. So on that note, please can everyone stand? And join me in raising a toast to the bride and groom, to Loz and Steph. Cheers.
Rabbi and Rebbitzin Davis, Lorraine and Neil, Mum and Dad, family and friends. And of course, my amazing new wife, Mrs. Stephanie Glass. Or as she says, Mrs. Stephanie Glass. Welcome to our wedding.
Our wedding? Don't you mean your princess wedding? For those of you who are unaware, Lawrence has been dreaming of his perfect wedding day since he was a young boy running around in his very first Manchester United kit. When we got engaged, over 3 years ago in May 2019, Lawrence was adamant that we should have the whole black tie shebang, complete with flowers and candles everywhere, a chuppah singer to bring us all to tears, and a shawarma stand, which was absolutely non-negotiable.
Lorraine and Neil, thank you so much for making our perfect princess wedding happen. It truly is absolutely incredible, and a day we will remember forever.
The amount of time effort and energy you have both put into ensuring that today is absolutely perfect is immeasurable, and we are so grateful. This really is the best start to our married life that we could ever imagine.
Adam, although it's your 5th time as best man, I must say Stephanie was slightly apprehensive when I told her about your track record of wearing flip-flops and even a rugby shirt when carrying out your best man duties previously. Tonight, however, I barely even recognise you up there looking so smart. Thank you so much for finally learning to comply with the dress code. And don't worry, if your feet are aching in those smart shoes, there'll be some flip-flops available later.
Talking of aching feet, we are very fortunate to have my 2 wonderful grandparents, Grandma Raina and Popsy, here tonight. Popsy, Popsy, you are one of the most kind-hearted and generous people I know, and we know that you will always watch our progress with great interest from your rocking chair. Grandma Rayner, you are an inspiration to me in so many ways. And you probably don't remember this, but the very first time that I introduced you to Lawrence, you told me that you thought I should marry him.
I knew I'd done some good schmoozing that day. We couldn't let this moment pass without mentioning my grandparents, Grandma Ellie, Grandma Ethel, and Grandpa Aubrey, and Stephanie's grandparents, Grandma Barbara and Papa Simon, who sadly aren't with us today.
We fondly remember all our grandparents, and we will always strive to follow their example, continue their legacies, and pass on their wonderful stories to future generations.
Anyone that knows me knows that I love numbers. So who knows number 13?
I know 13. 13 are the Muppets wearing purple bow ties. Sorry, did I say Muppets? I meant ushers.
How dare you talk about my ushers like that, and the bow ties. They were the only things that I chose for this wedding. Lads, don't worry, I think you wear them with great distinction. Thank you for all being such fantastic friends and brothers to me over the years, and tonight is no exception.
To all my wonderful bridesmaids, not only do you all look totally stunning tonight, but you are all just as beautiful on the inside as you are on the outside.
Let's stop there, Stephanie, before this gets too soppy. But thank you very much, ladies, for putting up with Stephanie's soppiness. I know how difficult it can be. We also want to give a very special mention to the stars of tonight's show, the 4 cutest people in the room.
Mum, Dad, Sylvia and Howard! No, it's not you.
Obviously, we mean our 2 handsome page boys, Freddie and Jake, and our 2 fabulous flower girls, Joella and Ruby.
We love you all very much.
My siblings, Paula and David, and their other halves, David and Natasha. You always tell me how much hard work it is to have kids, but they've been absolute angels tonight, so I don't know what you're talking about. Seriously though, whilst our lives couldn't be any more different right now, it means so much to me that we all remain close, wherever we are in the world and whatever we are doing. Thank you also to Dave M for that fabulous rendition of Benching. And along with Joella and Freddie, for that, we expect the same performance at our future Friday nights.
Jason, my high-flying, super smart, big shot job in Boston, good at every sport, charming, chivalrous, popular, cultured, not so little brother. Lawrence and I really look up to you as a role model. We can see how hard you work and how you do everything with a good heart. We love spending time with you and Maggie, who's just as awesome as you. And we can't wait for you both to be our personal tour guides in Boston next month.
And believe it or not, it's not just because we want to use the 5-star gym in your apartment block. Mum, before I go any further, I just want to say that you look absolutely amazing tonight. Dad, you've scrubbed up quite well yourself too. Without a doubt, the hardest thing about living in Bermuda is not the giant cockroaches jumping out the cupboards, or even the Manchester United games being during working hours, but living far away from our families. We're always counting down until our next visit to stay with you at your new home in London, or should we say Hotel Chez Glass?
No doubt, the best boutique hotel in Hertfordshire. All inclusive, with Michelin star cuisine and complimentary airport transfers. The signature Shabbat dinner is particularly special, with a phenomenal array of dishes, all cooked to perfection, including Sylvia's world-famous meat strudels. Above all, what really makes any visit to Hotel Chez Glass truly special is the warmth that you immediately feel as soon as you step foot through the door. And that's not just coming from the oven.
Lorraine, you've always told me that you don't want me to talk about you in my wedding speech. And I always do what I'm told.
But you didn't say I wasn't allowed to. So just quickly, Mum, every day you are your fabulous, fun, and generous self. But today you are extra specially vivacious, which, according to my Google research, means sparkling with infectious energy and bursting with love and life.
Neil, talking about vivacious clothing, the first time that I arrived at Albion Park, I was really nervous to make a good impression. I knocked on the Driver family door, and I was greeted by the sight of my potential future father-in-law wearing only his skin-tight Lycra cycling shorts, with the braces over his shoulders, leaving very little to the imagination. This might have been enough to scare many potential suitors from returning. But since I'm partial to a little Lycra myself, strangely it was an unconventional icebreaker. And I was relieved that we'd found an instant common interest.
Mum, Dad, Sylvia and Howard. Although living far away from you all is very difficult, the distance will never change the fact that we genuinely believe that you are all the best parents in the world. You have supported us in every step of our lives, in every way. You encourage us to set our standards high and to reach our goals with fun and adventures along the way.
Your hard work, devotion and selflessness are just some of the many qualities that you have taught us and that we strive to emulate. Your fine examples are the best gifts that you could give us as we start our journey through married life together.
Although, Sylvia and Howard, the best gift that you've given me is Lawrence. Lawrence, after 3 years and 18 days of engagement, you are finally my hubby. Woo! From the very first moment I met you at your 31st birthday party, I've always thought that you are the most handsome man in the room. And I think everyone will agree with me when I say that tonight is no exception. I love everything about you and our relationship. You are my ultimate teammate, and I love your energy, drive, and determination. I really admire how industrious you are and how you work so hard to solve any problem. Apart from when the problem is the presence of a spider or a cockroach. But then at least you've got me to catch them for you.
That's true.
One of my favourite things about you is how the simplest things can make you so happy, especially ice cream, coffee, or even cottage cheese. I've never met someone who so frequently refers to the most basic foods as absolutely stunning or totally incredible. Sometimes I wonder which you love more, me or food. You're kind-hearted, loyal, and you're so much fun to be around, unless you're watching Manchester United on TV, which appears to be the one thing that makes you exceedingly disgruntled. Joking aside, I couldn't have wished to have married a better life partner, soulmate, best friend, and one might say most importantly, workout buddy. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. I know that being together will make life's highs even higher and the inevitable lows less low. There's no one I'd rather share my life with than you, and at the end of every single day, there's nowhere I'd rather be than in your arms.
Stephanie, my incredible new wife. First and foremost, I just want to say that you look breathtakingly stunning tonight. We've been waiting so long for this day to finally arrive, and I'm so honoured to finally be able to call you my wife. When we first met on the 7th of October 2017, at a bar that was very fittingly named the Lucky Pig, I could not believe my luck as you approached me to wish me a happy birthday and buy me a birthday drink. In that very moment, you instantly changed my life forever. We started dating, and I very quickly discerned that you were the girl of my dreams, with such an abundance of qualities that I appreciate, admire, respect, and love so much. You are stunning, smart, active, and great fun to be around. However, most of all, I love how incredibly selfless, thoughtful, and kind-hearted you are, and how you always put others before yourself and try so hard to make other people happy. Stephanie, I'm so proud we have become the perfect team, and you make me the happiest man alive. You're my best friend and will now be soulmates forever. Ladies and gentlemen, can I invite you all to stand and charge your glasses?
We forgot our glasses.
Should we go?
It's fine.
The toast is the gorgeous Mrs. Stephanie Glass. Thank you guys, enjoy the night.